What is up, guys? Good morning, good afternoon, and a good night to everybody out there. I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope this video finds you well. Today, ladies and gentlemen, you are joining Tough Build Customs. My name is Chris. We are doing a Q&A video today for you folks that are out there that have been asking questions but haven't gotten answers. Today is the day. This next question comes from Rise. I hope I didn't butcher your name, son, but here we go. Not sure if you're still replying to comments, but I would appreciate some insight, if so. Just had my engine replaced and it is showing the same misfire codes for cylinder 2 and 3. It was before the replacement, so I didn't think it's the valves. Just replaced the spark plugs, the ignition coils. For some reason, the car doesn't seem like it's running rough at all, or misfiring. So if I don't need to replace the injectors, I'd like to save some money since I probably sell it when I get it fixed. Any idea? Here's my idea. There's two ways that you guys can do this. The first way is you can take your fuel rail, turn it in one direction, put some towels down or a bucket or some site because you don't want to get any fuel on anything that's going to be hot. Or anything that can catch fire, such as anything electronic. You're going to want to have a barrel for that fuel that's going to come out of those fuel injectors. You're going to want somebody outside the car, and you're going to want somebody inside the car. Now, the reason for this is because somebody has to press that start button without turning the car on, without starting the car. So you're just going to press the button to create the fuel pressure. And what this is going to do is it's going to send fuel all the way up to your fuel rail, and it's going to allow you to see what injector is not spraying properly. So for say it's cylinder 3 and cylinder 2 like yours, you should be able to see it spray out like a mist. If it's not spraying like a mist, you're going to want to find out why. Why is that injector and that injector not spraying the correct way? If it is peeing, there's two things that can be wrong with that injector. The injector's clogged, it needs to be repaired, or it needs to be replaced. There is ways that you can allow these injectors to sit in seafoam overnight and let them just clean themselves out, and then go ahead and reinstall them and see if anything happens to cylinder 3 and 2 again when you put everything back together. Now, if you're seeing this on your cob access port or somewhere else, keep in mind that cars do misfire without feeling anything, such as a misfire. They will misfire every now and then. They will also knock every now and then. Cars have been doing this for many years. So long, I cannot even tell you. But it does happen. I would say definitely get it diagnosed, get it looked at, pay the diagnostic fee, have a mechanic put a scanner to it, so that they can see if the right pressure is getting delivered to those two cylinders. If it's not, then you could have something like a crack line, or the high pressure fuel pump isn't working properly. Now, if that's not working properly, you can easily just buy one from O'Reilly Auto Parts, install it, see if it fixes your problem. If it doesn't, then you can always take it back out and return it because it's not your problem. You're trying to track down something, and it's very hard. It's like trying to find a bunny rabbit in a haystack. You're never going to find the bunny. That's just how it works. If you diagnose the problem, you're going to most likely find the real reason why you are misfiring in those two cylinders. Then there can be anything with pre-ignition. Now, pre-ignition has to do with more timing related. Now, is your VVT okay? The VVT is called a variable valve timing solenoid. That's what's in charge of making sure that your car is always in time. Now, if it's not, the computer is going to do something called correction. And when it does this correction, it either retards timing or it advances timing. It's going to constantly do this as you drive, as it's running, as idling, whatever it's doing, it's always doing either adding or taking away, which is called retarding. Now, if that is happening, you can get pre-ignition, which will cause misfires and it to run rough. If this is happening, then something is going on with the timing situation. That can also be checked by a scanner. It will tell you if your timing is being over advanced or if it's over retarded. You can also find out too when you pull your spark plugs out. Pull your spark plugs out and you'll be able to tell if it's running lean or rich. Rich has a different color on the bottom of your plug. One would be brown, one would be black. The brown would be rough. The black would be lean, meaning it's not burning the fuel correctly. You can also take your injectors and hook them up individually. Take them out. Put something like an aerosol can of either fuel injector spray or you can use valve cleaner. And you're going to spray it into the top side of the nozzle of your injector as you take a 12-volt battery with a positive and negative wire. Hook them up to the injector and hook it up to the battery. As you're spraying, you can see if it's either peeing or misting. If it's misting, you have no problem with that injector, no need to replace it. But if it's not, then you're going to need it to be replaced. I mean, that's all I can tell you. But I hope that kind of helps you out a little bit more with that factor, and hopefully your car is not needing a new timing kit, because if it does, then I would definitely look at my other videos so you can actually save money on that portion, because even some new motors come not built properly. So there's always ways to check that. You always want to make sure that everything's running right. You always want to make sure the compression is correct. Just because it's new doesn't mean it's not okay. This one comes from Because Race Car. I'm pretty sure I've been chasing the same problem you have on my wife's Eco. Changed the spark plugs 3 times, the low pressure fuel sensor twice, evap, and the purge valve twice, charcoal canister, field pump, upstream O2 sensor, and the mass airflow sensor. Still no code, but car bogs down terribly after filling and cold starts. On my EcoBoost, I did have the bogging at cold starts, which I hear is very common, and a lot of people say it's normal. Me being a mechanic, nothing is normal to me, especially a car that bogs down when it's cold. It shouldn't do that. Cars rev high when they're cold, and then they get warm, and then they will drop down to 700 RPM. That's where they're supposed to be, at idle, when warm. What I've been reading is it seems like you've been just giving that car your whole paycheck the whole entire time. I mean, if you want to give money, please do. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But you want to diagnose problems first. You want to figure out why. Why is it bogging? The best way to do it is compression test, leak down test, fuel pressure test. I understand that you've changed everything there is to do with the fuel pressure and with the evap, but you're still going to want to smoke it. You want to figure out if there's any air being introduced to the system somewhere where you're not able to see it, but the smoke will allow you to see it. That's the best thing about smoking out a car, is it gets into the smallest portion. I mean, literally, guys, it can be a pinhole of a hole, and that will throw off your air to fuel ratio to hell. It will just throw it off, and it's not so great. Diagnosing is the number one thing I can always tell people to do before they start throwing money at a car, because the worst thing that you want to do is throw money at a car. Nobody should. You just got to diagnose it, make sure you figure it out, repair that part, and then try it again. And if it's still doing the same thing, then you would want to investigate a little bit further. Now, if I was there, I would have definitely done all these diagnosing for you. There's places that can still do the diagnosing for you. They can hook it up to their scanner, they can smoke it, they can check out all your hoses, your lines, everything. It's called a diagnostic fee, just the same way as if you went to the doctor's. You still got to pay the doctor to see you, which really does suck in this world. But we all got to make money. So that is the best advice I can give you, is doing that. And then also keep in mind, it can be PCM and ECU related. Meaning, a car is a computer. It is, sadly, nowadays, it is all ran by computer. Especially with as many miles as I've seen that your wife's car has. you're definitely going to want to either A, take it to the dealer and get your ECU and PCM reflashed, which is meeting updated. It's the same thing as if you turn on your phone. Your phone needs updates all the time. Your computer needs updates all the time. Cars need updates all the time. A dealer's not going to tell you this because they don't want you to know this. They want you to bring your car to them so they can charge you a whole bunch of money to solve problems that are not even wrong with the car. And then they're going to tell you there's nothing wrong with it. I've been doing this for quite a long time, and trust me, reflashing computers, giving them a new software, fixes a lot of stuff. First question comes from Robert. How you doing, Robert? I hope you're doing well. But to answer your question, where do you find your purge solenoid on your 2017 Ford Explorer 2.3 liter EcoBoost? And that is going to be located by the rear side, driver's side of your firewall. It's right on top of the valve cover. If you want, actually, I'm going to place a little photo right here so that way you are able to see it for yourself where it's located, and it will help you a little better if you haven't found it already. This next question comes from Tori Long. Tori Long, to answer your question, did I have any issues or problems modifying my 2017 Mustang EcoBoost? And the answer to that is no. I had zero problems at all modifying it. The real thing is you want to pay attention to what you're adding onto your Mustang and how you're adding it. Don't add crappy quality parts from eBay. Actually go to places and buy them, either from CJ Pony Parts, American Muscle, places like that are well known, and buy it. Spend the extra money. Just trust me, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be a lot better for your car, and your car will enjoy it just as much as you will. Listen to your tuner. If your tuner tells you he needs more data logs done to see why the car is doing what it's doing, just make sure you get all of the data logs to him properly, and your tune and the car will thank you for that. The next question comes from COD, or A-Rock. Stuck into my exhaust. To answer that question, I went to my friend's house. We were installing catalytic converters onto the GT to get it to pass emissions. Well, in the meantime, as we were taking the exhaust off the car, we kind of scraped it around on the rocks to, basically get it all situated. That exhaust weighs a ton. If you guys don't know, the stock GT mufflers are no joke. They weigh a ton. But it's either that happened or his son might have thrown a rock into my exhaust. Not a big issue though. I went ahead, took it apart, took the rock out, and put everything back on. It was a quick, easy fix. But at least now I know the rock was in the muffler and not in the pipe. Thank God. This next one comes from Paid for Weed, ladies and gentlemen. What a name. Beautiful, man. I really do admire that name. I don't know why, but it's funny. Keep going. But don't lose confidence on trying to do something in life. And when it comes to a variable valve timing solenoid, definitely don't lose any confidence. I'm telling you right now, dude, it is super dog easy. That's all you gotta do is take everything off your valve cover, pop that thing up, take that one bolt out, change that VVT solenoid, pop the new one in, put everything back on. Just make sure you get a new gasket for it, and you get some more silicone as well, because you're gonna have to hit those 4 places with silicone before you slap your valve cover back on. But don't lose confidence, man. I have confidence in you. I've always have. Just keep rocking. Do it the right way. This next one comes from Sal, and he is wondering, what car did I do my H6 headlights on? And to tell you, I did them on my 2017 Ford Focus, and I got them for a steal at a car show. And it was just a video that I really wanted to put together for you guys on changing the looks of your car. And I tell you right now, I do not wish to go back on that, because it made my car look way better at night. I was able to see the brightness of it, and everything was very great. It lasted for about 3 years, and then one died, and then I had to put stock bulbs back in because I wasn't going to find bulbs like that for a stealer price, especially that low. But if you are looking into an H6 bulb, definitely go for it. They have newer ones out now that last way longer. That's what I did it on, a 2017 Ford Focus. Next question comes from S550 Warhorse, and to answer your question, buddy, it is 12 to 15 foot-pounds of torque. Do not put any less, do not put any more. If you want to stay in the comfort zone, I would say put 12 pounds only, because those bolts have been heated and cold and then heated and then cold. And if you know what that comes with, is stretching. So make sure that you don't over tighten it, because you will snap one and it's not fun when you do as well. Another tech tip from me today involving that water pump is make sure you sand down the whole bowl where the water pump will sit, so that way you don't scrape that beautiful O-ring and ruin it, and then you'll have the same problem again. It will just leak from the O-ring and not the actual center. These are really good. You guys should try them. They're amazing, better than water, I guarantee it. Kind of tastes like beer, but in a term. Stuart, and he is wondering how to make more power on his 2.3 EcoBoost V6. And the answer to that is you're going to want to start off doing things that the motor is going to be happy with, such as your intercooler, your charge pipes, your blow-off valve, your wastegate, a bigger turbo, a downpipe, better tires, better brakes to stop all that power. And to impact all of that, you're going to need a tune, as well as changing out that stock filter and allowing your car to breathe in the colder air from the atmosphere. If you live in a hotter climate, keep that in mind too. That does play a little bit with the air to fuel ratio. This next one was actually a comment done by BioBaby, and what I want to tell you guys is a little factor behind another factor, and it is taking your car to a dealership. Now, when you take your car to a dealership, they're going to pull all the money out of your pocket as much as they can, so that just because it's this little tiny problem, they're going to make it a humongous problem. They're going to pull all the money out of your pocket. With my videos, I try to show you guys what I've done and how I did it, and I'm telling you right now, just adding that little part of fuel line on my evap hose, no code, and it's been a couple years now and we still don't have the code. So that's another good thing about it. And I want to try to make sure that I'm doing something for my community here on Tough Bull Customs, because I love you guys, and I want to try to give as much free tips on my channel as much as possible. If you guys have any other things that you guys want to learn or know about, don't be afraid to comment them down. You're giving me ideas to make videos for you, because you are my family here, and I want to make sure that I'm making content that pleases you, and it's not only pleasing me to make it, but I want to keep you happy, and I want to keep having you return to my videos and smashing that like button, because YouTube's new algorithm is the like button, and making sure that you smash that like button every single time that you come and see my videos. Just don't watch it, leave a comment, drop a like, and make sure you tell your friends to subscribe. This next one comes from, I hope I don't butcher your name, but Conan's. And to answer that is, my buddy Mike was only selling them for a while, and then you had Ripicas out there and a whole bunch of other ones that are going to be out there. So your standoffs for that RS spoiler is going to definitely depend on who made it and where you got it from. Mine definitely was just made for my car at first. It wasn't even out yet, but I enjoyed doing that video for you, definitely. If yours is just a little different than mine, just send me an email if you haven't done already. I know that that comment is 5 months old, but if you already figured it out, let me know down in the comment section down below as well, so that way we can continue growing. This next one comes from Shady. To answer your question, Shady, it actually happened when I went to California. I only had my 2018 Ford Mustang GT for a month before this actually happened. I was talking to my brother's roommate. He wanted to go to Walmart. I had to go to Walmart already. So we drove off, and when we got halfway to Walmart, there was another car that was a 2017 Chevy Silverado. She was a little bit of an older woman, kind of dressed like she was a, I don't know, lawyer of such. But she must have been either texting or not paying attention to the road, and she wide swapped my rear end, kept driving all the way up to my door, hitting my mirror, which basically made my car look like crap. And then I was just extremely depressed when that happened. I didn't even want to get out of my Mustang to go check the damage. I'm glad I did though, and I'm glad that it's fixed now. It's just the paint does not match, because The collision center I took it to used a black instead of a shadow black, which my car is a shadow black. I don't understand collision centers. I just don't. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, to go ahead and wrap this up for you all, I'm going to answer this last comment here. And I know a lot of you guys wanted me to go bigger turbo with my Mustang EcoBoost, and I do apologize that I didn't make a bigger turbo video for you, and that was my whole intention, was to make a bigger turbo and make it go a lot faster than stock, which my Mustang was actually making pretty good power. I have to find the email, and if I find it, I'll post it right here, from Ryan, and he actually saw what my horsepower was to the wheel and not to the crank, because there's a difference. But it was fun. It was definitely a joyride that I loved very much. I put a full drive shaft on it. I did all new tires. I did a whole gang of stuff to the motor to make it go as fast as it was. And it's just an enjoyment piece, honestly. If I had the choice and I had the money, I would definitely get another Mustang, but this time another EcoBoost, and have my GT too, and keep the EcoBoost as my daily and my GT as my fun car. But if you guys would to help me out, just share the videos, man. Share them, because it really does help grow the channel, and that's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so I hope that these videos have helped every single one of you guys. I do these Q&A videos pretty much every single week, and I will post them when I do get them made. It's usually on Friday, but this one might get posted a little bit earlier. I have 2 other videos I'm currently working on editing, and I want to get them out so you guys can see the cool things that are involving. And we do have a sponsor that's working with me again. That was back in the OG days. If you guys know who it is, leave a comment down in the section down below. Let me know your guys' guess, and I will see you guys in the next week's video. Make sure you comment, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's grow Top Build Customs. I'll see you guys next week. You don't want to throw money at a car at all.